due respect, he's also suffering from anal bleeding.
I'm dumb as fuck.
Can I have your attention, please?
I'm dumb as fuck.
Smart marks!
I'm dumb as fuck.
He's also an avid cock hunter.
The art of wrestling.
He's unstoppable!
The art of wrestling.
Number one contender.
The art of wrestling.
And there goes the big boy!
The art of wrestling.
Keep it up, my nigga!
The art of wrestling.
You're gonna have to deal with it.
The art of wrestling.
Talent is not sexually transmitted.
Me and my friend Mark, we're gonna stop.
What's up, everybody? It's Greg, host of the Arc of Wrestling podcast. We're here doing the Super Award Show, the show that we promised you guys. Big panel for you guys here tonight. Starting with, of course, my sidekick, Mike.
I'm great.
Joining me today, we have from the Wrestling Chronicle podcast, or is it the Pile Driver podcast?
It's the Pile Driver podcast brought to you by thewrestlingchronicle.com.
There we go. Eric. Say hi, Eric.
Hello, thank you for having me, guys.
Yeah.
I'm excited to be here.
No problem. We've been wanting to have you on for quite a while. I think we've been debating on when we should try to book you for at least 2 or 3 months now.
I feel special.
Yeah. So we were like, you know what? Let's just get everybody together for a big super show. And oh man, I'm super excited for tonight's show. Joining back with us, the man from Wrestling with Subtitles, Max.
What's up, guys? How you guys doing?
Doing great. Also, from the Ask Show, one of our most earliest guests that we've ever had on the podcast, Riv.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
What's up? And the composer of the brand new Arc of Wrestling theme song. Super glad to have this guy on, Cigadeemus.
Hello.
You want to just be called Siga? Or
Just Sig if you want.
Sig? Alright. That'll be great. Alright, guys. We got an awesome award show for you guys here tonight. We are at the near end of 2014, about 2 weeks left. Not a lot of pro wrestling left. I guess New Japan's still doing their is it their tag tournament or?
I don't know what it is. Wrestling as a whole blew their load this past week.
I know they're doing their road to the Tokyo Dome right now, so I'm very excited for this coming January when we're gonna have Wrestle Kingdom to start off 2015. That's brought to you by Global Force Wrestling. Hey, and
the next New Japan show is the 19th.
Yeah. So, we're going to start off the award show with Breakout Star of the Year. Breakout Star of the Year is simple. Who broke out? Who came from a slump to one of the top stars in their respective company? And you know what? We're going to start with Mike.
Yes, hello.
Hello.
Alright. It's going to be slightly different. I forget who I picked yesterday. Honorable mentions will be Seth Rollins, and I've said this yesterday as well, Hanson from Ring of Honor.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I think Seth Rollins was in the same spot as yesterday as well.
Was he?
Yeah, I believe so.
Like I said, if Raymond Rowe would have never got hurt, War Machine would have been tag team champions by now.
Oh, yeah. By far. But Hanson's been doing very well on his own.
He should have won. He should beat Jay Lethal for the tag belt. Not the tag belt, the TV belt, but that's a different story for a different day.
No one's going to beat Jay Lethal for the TV belt, 'cause Jay Lethal's an asshole.
Yeah,
Always remember that.
He is. And
he deflowered my AJ before anybody else could.
Oh my god.
Ooh.
And it hurts.
It hurts.
It hurts inside. But my top pick is AJ Styles.
Nice. Obviously, because
Ring of Honor New Japan World Champion.
Exactly, and coming from TNA at the very beginning of the year, having that little feud with Dixie Carter.
And also noticeable for killing Yoshitatsu.
Oh.
Well, I knew that. I was waiting for that.
I was gonna say breakout star or breaking neck star.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Max, breakout star.
My two honorable mentions for breakout star are Bray Wyatt His Royal Rumble match with Dan O'Brien was just phenomenal, and then he kind of went on a downturn, so that kind of sucked. But also another honorable mention is another member of the Wyatt family. Luke Harper really surprised me this year. We all knew just how good he was in the ring, but I mean, especially after last night in that match with Ziggler, he put it on a whole new level. But I think my breakout star of the year for me would definitely be Sami Zayn in his road to redemption on NXT. It's been quite the ride, and I'm excited to see where him and Kevin Owens go.
Awesome. Riv.
Well, if I got to give my honorable mentions, I got to give it actually to Adrian Neville, who I think is really just... I'm excited to see him debut on the main roster. I think the way that he's sort of presented with this cockier sort of persona where after having held the NXT belt for so long, he became sort of this cockier guy. I like that. It's sort of like something we haven't seen from him. Here's a guy who at one point thought he wasn't quote-unquote WWE material. And, he's been making waves, so I'm ready to see him debut. Obviously, we got to say Dean Ambrose, another guy who runner-up. He's always been great, but now coming into his own, got to be the hottest commodity in the WWE. But my breakout star of the year, actually, surprisingly, Damien Mizdow. This is a guy who went from being crap to being golden in every possible way. The mannerisms, he makes you laugh, he can go in the ring. He's better than The Miz. Everybody knows it. And hopefully once this whole Mizdow thing is over, he'll actually come up back to, some semblance of where he used to be higher up the card, as opposed to after losing Money in the Bank, he became this colossal just disappointment and this joke. He was like the heel version of Santino, and it sucked.
And honestly, he's one of the most over men on that entire roster.
Can we hope he doesn't turn to Alex Riley when he turns on the Miz? and just gets a huge pop and then does nothing for the rest of his career.
He's gonna show a sign that says "Free Sando."
Yeah,
yes.
You mean sitting on Twitter in a jail cell in his wrestling tights?
Yes.
Let me out!
Alex Riley,
amazing.
what a tool.
He's doomed once, now that Corey Graves is in the commentary booth. Alex Riley's days.
Oh yeah, Corey Graves with just the takeover show that he did was by far superior than on commentary than Alex Riley. Eric.
Oh yeah. As far as my breakout stars, my honorable mentions. First, I would have to say Adrian Neville from NXT. I'm just a huge kind of, I guess you could say, mark for the way a champion is booked, and as far as like title reigns and meaningful defenses and things of that nature. And Adrian Neville by far and whether it be main roster or whatever, had by far the best, I guess, championship reign in my eyes. And another honorable mention would be Luke Harper. I think in due time, in a couple years, he might be an even bigger deal. I think he has the potential to be the next big bad heel that the WWE would be looking for. Somebody to go up against whoever they decide to put face, maybe a Roman Reigns or whatever. But especially the match last night really opened my eyes and showed me that Luke Harper is a big guy, but he's able to do a lot of different things. His size definitely doesn't hinder him. But as far as my
he could do a Hurricane Rana.
Yeah, exactly.
For a man that size, that's impressive.
Exactly. But as far as my breakout star of the year is, I got to give it to Rusev. With the way everything has been handled, I know he's had some odd matches with the Big Show and Mark Henry, but his not the match last night, but the previous match he had with Jack Swagger and the way that was built up was really good. As far as the build up for his matches go, they've been pretty good, and I'm wondering, it's hard to see who's going to be the one to stop his undefeated streak. So when you're able to do that, when you're able to do something old school, like have an old school foreign heel who despises America and takes a prize from America, such as the U.S. title, and then he's going undefeated, just destroying everyone, you want to see who's going to be the person to stop the undefeated streak, and you kind of hope, you don't hope it's somebody stupid like R-Truth or something like that. You want it somebody be meaningful.
Well, they're
Angle.
just starting a program with Ryback now, with
Yeah,
him and Rusev.
Ryback though, like Ryback.
You think he should take it? It would put Ryback on a different level at that point. But do you think Ryback's the man to deserve that spot?
I don't think so.
All
I
right.
don't think so. I think they have the potential to do something big with it. As far as what, doesn't know, because it seems like, especially if you take tonight's Raw for example, it seems as though creatively they're putting all their eggs in one basket, and that basket name is John Cena. So
Yeah.
it all depends on how they do it.
All right. Well,
But he's undefeated.
He is.
Undefeated.
It's impressive too.
And it's a legit, it's a legit undefeated streak. It's not some bullshit like R.D. Evans or anything like that, or whatever.
Please, R.D. Evans' streak was not bullshit.
Oh,
Even though some of those matches came out of thin air.
Wasn't he like 223-0 before he lost the Moose?
He jumped from like 98 to like 134 in a week. It was hilarious, but yeah.
He's pretty impressive.
Sig, how about you? Breakout star of the year.
It'll be Dean Ambrose, just from the fact that he was dropping the best promos ever after he left the Shield, and then he was pretty good. They had loads of good matches. He's pretty reckless, like he doesn't care about his body, so he puts on good matches. That's good sign in the superstar. And Bray Wyatt, because he's always been good. He could be bigger than the Undertaker. He doesn't even need to match up to the Undertaker.
Ooh.
He got caught in Cena's void for a little while, and then he's come back in his own with the Ambrose feud.
How do you feel about the rumors about Bray Wyatt versus the Undertaker at WrestleMania?
Yeah,
31?
somebody told me that today actually. Yeah, I think that would be amazing. Yeah, he said on the Stone Cold podcast that he could do something really good with the promo there, with the build up to it.
Oh, it'd be unbelievable.
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
Imagining those two together gives me goosebumps, man.
Yeah, 'cause
Exactly.
they would be able to really do something really, really dark and fucking really creepy,
A lot darker than his feud with CM Punk.
Oh yeah, that's the thing that's why I love Bray Wyatt so much, is that he's able to be, he's able to do that dark stuff, and unless you're into stuff like the occult and fucking biblical prophecies and shit like that, it's just really interesting stuff.
Yeah. Alright, my breakout star of the year. I have my first honorable mention to Sami Zayn. He was, how much can you say? I couldn't believe how over he got. The NXT crowd really got behind him. A lot more than he was when he was having his small series of matches with Cesaro at the beginning. My number 2 goes to Roderick Strong. Unbelievable. If you guys don't know, I used to hate Roderick Strong. He was one of 4 independent guys I could not stand, and I just thought he was absolutely boring. This year for 2014, he shook me up. Going to the finals in Battle of Los Angeles, ending up winning the PWG World Championship. Spoilers. At the recent Black Hole Sun tapings, unbelievable. He's been on all levels really hitting it out of the park, and I was super happy about that. And my breakout star of the year goes to Seth Rollins. I cannot deny how over Seth Rollins has become. I cannot, I can't even, say any fault of I can't even figure out what's wrong with his current push. If I can find any faults to it, because it's almost been so perfect of how WWE's been handling him, and it's such a rare occasion that WWE approaches a superstar like this and treats him like this golden boy, and it's someone that you would think that WWE wouldn't even see as in the position that Rollins is in right now. I think a lot of people expected Rollins to kind of be thrown off to the side for obvious reasons. Ambrose probably has more charisma, and Reigns has the the better look, but Rollins has by far shown that he is probably on a much higher level than Reigns, or I would even say Ambrose at times. Like, holy shit. Good job, Seth Rollins.
He reminds me of Edge a little bit, like in terms of the way he's being handled. When Edge came through the glass ceiling, it's very similar in a way with the whole Money in the Bank thing, and I like that.
That's a smart thing to say. Yeah, I could definitely see some resemblance to the way Edge was pushed to this.
I don't think that the push for Rollins would have worked for either Reigns or Ambrose. It had to be Rollins.
Oh yeah, Rollins just looks so much better in that suit.
Yeah.
I can't imagine Ambrose wearing a suit like that.
Are you talking the suit, or are you talking the weird gimp suit that he wrestles in?
Oh, would you even call that? That seems like he should be in the Avengers movie. Looks like a little tiny gay superhero.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever. We're gonna move on to storyline of the year. I mean, storyline / angle. You could do certain like smaller angles if you want to. But anyways, story angle of the year. We're gonna start with Riv.
The runner-up for this has to be Sami Zayn, Adrian Neville, the sort of redemption of Sami Zayn angle, which was just beautifully done. I mean, for months, you saw Sami Zayn lose these big matches, and it was starting to be like, what the hell? What is this? And then once you got that sort of venom in him right before the match, Neville versus Zayn, it was just incredible. That last promo leading up to NXT R Evolution was just beautifully done. The one feud that I have to say takes it for me, though, is Rollins Ambrose. There is just some sort of just magic in the ring when these two are against each other. On the mic, in the ring, these guys really nailed it throughout the year. They nailed it so well that when they tried to, sort of phase Ambrose out to do movies and they brought in Reigns, nobody cared. It was just like there was nothing here. Ambrose is a tough act to follow, and it made Roman Reigns look 10 times worse to have to follow Dean Ambrose, so they had to revisit it. And I think that I hate to say I'm glad somebody got injured, but Roman, sorry, glad you got injured, because that feud was, that Ambrose-Rollins feud continued because of that, and it was great.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
they turned a lumberjack match, which is one of the stupidest, shittiest stipulations ever, and managed to make it work.
I mean, I can't even imagine what they could have done with Reigns during this time. He's been injured, and it's given so many other people the rub that they needed.
It doesn't matter. I'm telling you guys, they're gonna push that fucker to the moon. He's gonna win the Rumble.
Oh yeah,
he's gonna win the Rumble.
I'm not denying any of that, but I'm saying that I think without Reigns, guys like Ziggler and Wyatt and Ambrose weren't gonna have the attention that they did when Reigns got injured.
Okay, but if you think about it though, what does that matter if when now that Reigns is back, if they do push him like crazy, then a couple guys get put off to the wayside.
It matters. It matters when WWE realizes that Roman Reigns doesn't have the charisma to carry himself on the mic.
Yeah, and
I don't think at this point they give a shit.
I don't know. Even if they push Reigns, if he gets hurt again or something happens again or it just doesn't work, I think already now they've seen, hey, Ziggler, there is something there that we've been ignoring for a few years now. It's there. Ambrose, this guy can go. Let's not make the same mistakes that we made with Daniel Bryan. I think it's going to be a big pull the trigger sort of deal if Roman can't go. And truth be told, when I see him stuttering in interviews, I sort of get the impression that he's going to make some really big mistakes coming forward.
Yeah.
It's like I told the other art guys when we talked about Roman Reigns and the Rumble and Mania, and I see Reigns winning the title from Lesnar and Rollins cashing in and winning the belt, and then Reigns chasing the belt into the summer and not winning it back.
Yeah, I
that's
definitely
what I want to see happen.
I could definitely see WWE really trying to get like a SmackDown 6 started on the actual roster with Wyatt and Reigns and Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose and Dolph Ziggler and someone else who you could throw in there. It could be anybody. I'd really get a nice main event scene started with these young kids, and it's not just all revolved around one or two guys like it was with Cena for so many years. Finally you could have different matchups on different pay-per-views. You could really carry out the pay-per-views and have people subscribe to the network. Like, there's nothing wrong with that at all. Max, storyline of the year.
My personal honorable mentions are the Authority running or getting kicked out of town, mainly because while heel Authority figures work and face Authority figures don't really work for the long term, the Authority was there for over a year and it just became oversaturated, and it was really tough to determine what was happening from show to show between Kane and Triple H and Stephanie and Vince and Seth Rollins and J&J. So it was just a lot of shit going on all at once. My other honorable mention, while not an official quote unquote storyline, is I would say the CM Punk fiasco. What happened there and what has come out in the last month. I mean, it's definitely in the background of everybody's mind. But that was definitely one of the bigger happenings of the year. Not an official storyline, of course. But my storyline of the year definitely goes to my hometown hero, Daniel Bryan, becoming his WWE champion at WrestleMania 30. Just seeing him raise up those belts after beating Batista and it was Orton. Man, that was too good, and him chanting yes along with 68,000 other people, it was insane.
Awesome. Sig.
I've got to say the Shield versus Evolution.
Yeah.
That was an amazing feud. I couldn't believe anyone hadn't said it yet. But then I was still thinking, please don't say it. I want to say it. But yeah, the whole storyline, the matches were brilliant. They were amazing. You could have two matches, one pay-per-view after the other. They'd still be different and they'd still be good in like separate ways. And then of course it led to the Shield splitting up, which that was very sad for me. But yeah, it was still so good.
All right. How about Eric?
Well, for me, it was kind of hard, with having a choice. I knew what my number one choice was going to be, so finding honorable mentions that kind of lived up to that, but not enough, was really hard for me to find. So basically, my choice would have to be the whole Daniel Bryan and the Yes movement into WrestleMania 30 with him winning the titles. For me, being such a, I guess you would call, what you would say, mark, for any time that any sort of old school wrestling tactic to build something is used, I'm a huge mark for that. And the fact that they designated time from SummerSlam, where he won and then he lost, all the way to WrestleMania, despite there being some, hokey bullshit going on with like the Big Show getting involved and things like that. Despite all that, it's still, in the grand scheme of things, if you think about it, for them to designate that much time to an angle and have it go over to the point where the fans feel, whether or not it's true or not, the fans feel that they had a say in making it happen in an era where, if you look at it now, even right now, people are just not into it because it's not what they want to see. But to have that moment where the fans felt like they had a voice, to me, that was very important. So I think that would be my top choice.
Awesome. Mike?
Same thing as yesterday. My runner-ups are Michael Elgin's Road to Redemption and winning the world title in Ring of Honor. It took him, a full year to win the belt from Adam Cole, only to lose it to Jay Briscoe.
It's Mike, let's be honest. Elgin was going to... It would have been a surprise if Elgin would have held that title longer.
I would have seen Elgin holding the belt for a year if he wouldn't have let his visa expire.
I'm surprised how quickly the ROH crowd just kind of stopped caring about Elgin after that win.
That was going to be my question, is why did people... Because people clearly were behind Elgin for a lot of his big start, I guess, starting from PWG and then him working in ROH. People were behind him, and it was always clear cut, one day this dude's going to probably be the world champion. And then as soon as he wins it, it's just like, all right, now we're just gonna hate on this guy. And
It's because he pulled the trigger on him too late. Like his big golden moment was last year, during the tournament and at Final Battle, and they never pulled the trigger on him. They did the same thing to Davey Richards. They're like, oh, Davey Richards, it's time for Davey Richards to win the belt. To give it to Eddie Edwards.
Davey Richards is a jackass, though.
He is. Anyway.
You're talking about my boy. He's from a fellow Washington.
Anyway, my second runner-up is Daniel Bryan versus The Authority. For the simple reason is how they tried to bury Daniel Bryan throughout the entire feud. They wouldn't have tried to bury him to the casual audience. I would have put it at number 1, make him look like a legit threat at times. They didn't. They basically said, hey, here's this 5 foot, 7, 8, 9 inch kid who can't win the big one. He won the big one twice. They took the belt from him in shady fashion.
Yep.
And my number 1 is yeah. I can't say Chikara for some reason without screwing it up. Chikara versus the Flood. From Chikara's supposed shutdown to the fan appreciation days with Icarus and We Are Chikara and all that.
And the rallies.
The wrestling A shows being shut down by the Flood and the BDK and all that. And Pro Wrestling Day, when they announced Chikara was coming back, like the biggest reaction in the wrestling history. Just to their first show back in the year.
Yeah. It was one of the best, like, to this day I'm still wondering, is it a work or not? Was it a work? Did Icarus really have all those problems with his wife? Was it his wife? It was like copyright. It was like copyright issues and who owned the actual name to Chikara, and it was phenomenal how well they were able to work that all into a story and continue it onto the show. And Chikara's been amazing since coming back, and I've been keeping up. I've missed a couple shows that they've had, but I'm just watched like 4 in the past week, so I'm getting back into the swing of things. I'm loving every single minute of it.
What's his name? Delusa Lion now is like a 7-foot lion dude.
Yeah,
with a mask who looks like Minotaur. is running awesome. The Flood now. He does. It's Minotaur and 7 feet tall.
It's amazing. Alright, my storyline, honorable mentions, of course, goes to Sami Zayn and his road to redemption, and Daniel Bryan's road to WrestleMania. What else is there to say? Sami Zayn, I love what they did with Sami Zayn because not only did he help put over Tyler Breeze, he made Titus O'Neil look like a fucking monster in NXT. Of course, his losses against Cesaro, his loss against Tyson Kidd, and how that really put over Tyson Kidd, which gave him incredible heat. And then him getting all those wins back, and really, it's amazing. It's amazing how you could get someone like Sami Zayn and still have him have the ability of putting everybody over and still being so healthy by putting everybody over. He gets himself over once again at the end, becoming the biggest star of the company and winning the belt at the end. I haven't seen this kind of build up to a wrestler in years. Daniel Bryan, of course, a lot more controversy behind that. Who knows if WWE would have ever taken Daniel Bryan to the main event without the fans reacting that hard? Were they just going to shove him in a match with Sheamus and have that rematch against Sheamus where Daniel Bryan would possibly go over? Who knows? Anyways, we got the win that we wanted, even though I felt like, to this day, I still feel that Daniel Bryan's win was still, his feet were knocked right under him when Undertaker's streak was ended. So, and also with Vince McMahon leaving the arena with Undertaker, it was kind of ironic that he leaves not to see Daniel Bryan win at WrestleMania. I've always had those kind of connections, but it's still Daniel Bryan's road to WrestleMania and winning the championship is one of the most perfect all around when it comes to backstage politics and the crowd getting behind a superstar and really making a change. One of the most perfect storylines. But a lot of yelling and arguments came from that storyline, which is why I didn't give him my storyline to the year. What I am giving my storyline to the year, though, is Bullet Club versus New Japan Pro Wrestling. What stable since the NWO has taken the wrestling world, especially the internet wrestling community, by storm, almost becoming a meme of itself, and just waging war on a company like New Japan, and having incredible matches, and bringing in superstars like AJ Styles, and putting over Yujiro Takahashi, and giving the Young Bucks, a stage to really, have their work really shine with some of these great talent like the Time Splitters and so on. Unbelievable. The Bullet Club, I'm excited. I got my Bullet Club t-shirt today. I should be rocking it right now. I don't know why I'm not. I'm excited for what Bullet Club did. I'm excited for what Bullet Club's going to do, especially now that Global Force Wrestling is going to start getting their hands on him. So yeah, we'll see where everything like that goes next year. On to promotion of the year. We're gonna start with Max.
My first honorable mention would be WWE. They're kind of like the baseline for at least pro wrestling here in the States. They've had a lot of shit shows. But when they knock it out of the park, you're only going to get moments like Undertaker losing at WrestleMania, Bryan winning at WrestleMania. You're only going to get those moments from WWE. You can't have 1,000 people at a TNA show explode because Abyss came back. It just doesn't make any sense.
And I'll make argument that this is one of the most historic years in WWE's recent history. Yeah, I would say ever since turning PG, 2014 on almost all cylinders have been terrible for WWE, but historic.
But before we move on, are you sure that's now people are excited about Abyss?
Abyss is amazing.
He is.
I haven't watched TNA in 6 months, so
I totally mark out if Abyss came out of nowhere. Oh my God, it's the guy Abyss, and I'd go back and get a hot dog.
Imagine Abyss versus Bray Wyatt. Oh, that'd be amazing.
My other honorable mention is a promotion that I actually just started getting into, and I'm going to be a terrible wrestling fan. I just started getting into PWG.
Sir, you got so much to watch.
It's just so good.
You're pretty backlogged there.
Yeah. So and I just started getting into them about a month ago. So I got I've got my work ahead of me.
A month ago? Did you not watch Bulla then?
No, I didn't watch Bulla.
Oh yeah, sir, please, you're hurting me right now.
But my promotion of the year is Lucha Underground.
Oh, nice.
They had the strongest first 6 episodes of any wrestling show that I've ever seen. They're perfectly paced. In-ring action is perfect. The characters, they can use some work. I think it's mainly because I don't speak a whole bunch of Spanish, so there's a lot of stuff lost in translation when either Chavo or Don Puerta is speaking in Spanish.
They usually have subtitles, right?
Yeah, I haven't checked it out yet, on subtitles, but guys like Prince Puma, and
AKA Ricochet.
Yeah, Ricochet. They have put on.
It's Ricochet. No, I'm joking.
But they have put on some of the strongest shows that I've ever seen from a promotion. I know that it's AAA, but it's definitely a different sect. It's Lucha Underground is to AAA what NXT is to WWE. And I am really excited for Robert Rodriguez and the El Rey Network to kind of push further in Lucha Underground in 2015.
All right, Riv.
I gotta go with my runner-up is WWE, because even though as awful as the main product tends to be, we can't deny that NXT has been on fire. I mean, NXT at this point, I can watch 1 hour of NXT and be more entertained by 1 hour of NXT than 3 hours of Raw. If I were to consider NXT separate, then they would be it as far as honorable mention. I would more specifically say NXT, because right now, what we're seeing with NXT, I feel like it's not developmental. I feel like it's just a different breed, a different brand, and I'm enjoying that consistently every week. My winner also has to go to Lucha Underground, which I think is sort of bringing something different to the map here. It's it's darker, it's grittier, it's got this sort of vibe to it that you can really get behind, and I was really impressed by it. That again, much like NXT, you have that hour and everything just gels and meshes really well. They maximize the time they're given and manage to put on a great show. And one of my friends, who's really more of a casual fan, he doesn't watch wrestling all that often. He watches WWE once in a while when he's here, and he'll either fall asleep or sort of, I don't know what the fuck is going on. His attitude towards Raw is just like, But then I showed him Lucha Underground. It's like, now see, this I can get behind. It's darker, it's gritty, it's not insulting my intelligence all that much. The characters, the moves, everything just gels really, really well, and I like that. I think that we can use a little bit of a darker approach in terms of, again, the cinematography, everything about it just sort of, it's an alternative, and I think we need more alternatives appealing to the mainstream audience that doesn't particularly follow, the internet every single week or whatever, because I think that's something that could do well for business all around.
Awesome. How about Sig?
Mine's got to be WWE because I don't watch any others. Basically, I did watch TNA, but I stopped watching it just after Hogan left because it went really stale. But WWE's had so many no way moments this year. The Undertaker losing WrestleMania, the Shield getting turned on by Seth Rollins. There's been so many times when something's going to happen, and you're like, no way is that going to happen. So they've had a pretty rubbish product this year, but at the same time they've had a really good product this year. It's just they've had a lot of stuff happening to them, like trying to launch a network on a quarter of the price of a pay-per-view, and Punk walking out, plenty of people going off injured and all that, so they've had to keep rewriting stuff every 5 seconds. And yeah, also with the NXT stuff, the NXT is amazing. And it's kind of thing to say that the 1 hour is better than the 3 hours, because obviously it's always going to be, if you have to squeeze everything into an hour, then that hour is going to be amazing. If you have to spread it over 3 hours, then you're going to have loads of gaps anyway. But yeah, I would like to see NXT go for 2 hours, because that would be pretty good. And maybe get a better spot than just on the network.
Hour, probably 90 minutes. 90 minutes would be nice, because I know there's a lot of developmental guys who I know are probably really ready to debut and start getting into the ring, who I don't think they have the time to debut yet. Cough, cough, Solomon Crow.
Oh my god.
He's never going to debut. I feel he's going to be a Corey Graves.
He just had a dark match with Brian Kendrick.
Yeah, but he's been having dark matches for the past year and a half.
That's
all right, but yeah,
four different gimmicks.
And NXT should be one of the main reasons as to why anybody would have WWE as the promotion of the year. It's fucking amazing.
I feel they just need more time to build up stories and go backstage and tell some stories.
Yeah.
At the moment, it's just this match, that match, this match, that match. They need more time to promote them beforehand.
I think I was always thinking, I'm like, why couldn't they shoot 4 hours of NXT every taping? Why couldn't they split those 4 hours into 2 hour shows and go to Full Sail every other week, kind of, to do a show? But I wish I knew what the scheduling is for that Full Sail arena. I can't imagine it'd be that busy, but whatever works for WWE works for them. Eric?
Yeah, basically, my runner up. Obviously, first you got to say WWE, mainly because of what a lot of people have already said. For as many shitty moments that have been for WWE in 2014, there have been a couple oh wow moments, and so of course for a baseline you have to have WWE there. Another runner-up would be PWG, because if I was to start a wrestling promotion, my thing would be go out there and just have the best match you can possibly have. And, just go out there and steal the show and make people go, wow, this is really cool. And I think that's what PWG does, is it makes even for non-wrestling fans, they could look at it and go, wow, that's pretty cool. So yeah, I gotta go with that. As far as my promotion of the year, I'm going to be the one and say NXT is my promotion of the year, because for me, every single thing about NXT is the polar opposite to what WWE is doing now. NXT is just taking the talent that they have and maximizing the strengths to the biggest possibilities, understanding how to do things in a wrestling manner that is fun and doesn't insult the intelligence of the viewer, and just the way that they use the talent and understand the talent that they have. Obviously, there's no bigger example of that than Sami Zayn. Look at Sami Zayn compared to the main roster, and it's a lot of the things we're used to. He's not as big, but you can't deny he has a talent that far surpasses his look. He has the talent of a champion. And you just look at the depth of the roster with Finn Balor and the way he's making waves just based on an entrance alone. This guy put his thing on the map, and then you look at what they have for the future. They're taking something that was very coveted in the independent scene with Kevin Steen and El Generico, and they're going to use that and do that the WWE way, or the NXT way at least, which we know will be nothing short of amazing. If you need an example, look at what they did with Sami Zayn and Adrian Neville. To build up that story was amazing. So to me, NXT would be my promotion of the year.
Awesome. Mike.
Number two runner-up is New Japan. Okada, Tanahashi. Tanahashi being world champion killed it for me, as usual, because I can't stand Tanahashi's title runs.
God. You don't know the greatness of Tanahashi, please, Mike.
He's Japan's John Cena, alright?
And he's amazing.
But he's amazing.
Sometimes he's amazing.
Can't beat that air guitar.
I saw him live in New York City, and it fucking wowed the shit out of me.
Oh, did you go to War of the Worlds?
Yes, I was there front row.
Lucky bastard.
Yes, I was there front row, and that shit was fucking mesmerizing. And you know what else blew my fucking mind? Okada did a fucking, he did a roll, like a springboard thing, like the Eddie Guerrero.
Oh, yeah.
And it fucking looked like, it was like he was a fucking gazelle, just fucking gliding.
Yeah, Okada's amazing as well.
He's Randy Orton, but with more talent and more charisma. He doesn't even speak English. That's really the sad part of it all. He doesn't even speak English. He's got more charisma than Randy Orton. My number one runner-up, and it's shocking because I've always talked bad about this promotion, but I keep saying Z first. CZW.
Whoa!
Well, they had an interesting storyline this year with the company versus DJ Hyde, because he's a bad owner. They had brought in Tommy Dreamer, Kevin Steen. They turned Drew-based Gulak face, which really hasn't been doing anything for him, sadly.
It hasn't?
Nah.
That sucks.
Yeah, I know.
Hail Gulak.
Based Gulak, all hail. The tag division is amazing.
That's their strength, their tag division.
Yeah. Juicy product,
Oh, boo. Juicy product, a freaking straight rip-off of the Young Bucks.
Yeah, they suck.
And yo, everybody who hates the Young Bucks loves the Juicy product. For
Really?
some fucking reason.
Yeah, they I remember posting, a Juicy product trying to be the Young Bucks. Because they had, the ZCW titles and the women's tag titles.
Yeah, they had, a bunch of, second minor indie titles. Like the Young Bucks did when they started off the year with the PWG, ROH, and IWGP tag titles.
Yeah, they had ZZ something else, and the best guy in the roster, Alexander James.
Really?
honorary junior heavyweight champion.
Hmm.
But he gets the crap kicked out of him every week. And my number 1 is Ring of Honor. You know,
of course.
Adam Cole's wonderful title run that was ruined by Michael Elgin.
Yeah, fuck you, Michael Elgin.
What else, you know?
And your shitty tight jeans and your cowboy boots and your mullet.
Oh,
You're a
my
fucking
God.
Canadian. Act Canadian, please.
Red Dragon Tag Team of the Year, by far. There's nothing like them. Yes, the overall product is good.
Alright. My promotions. I have to go with Chikara. I've been watching a ton of Chikara ever since they came back, and it's been phenomenal. PWG also gets my honorable mention. What can you say? They put on the best wrestling here in the States. They hit mainstream with the cast of True Blood and Ronda Rousey attending their shows. Hell, on one of the recent shows, Ronda Rousey gave Biff Busick a sick chop almost to the neck. You know, I went to one of their shows. I'm planning on going to another show maybe next month or February. I'm currently have to look at my schedule for that because PWG announces their shows really late. But yeah, absolutely amazing. My promotion of the year goes to New Japan Pro Wrestling just because they've been hitting on all cylinders when it comes to wrestling. From the G1 Climax series, how many fucking 4.5-star matches came from that? I can't count. But it was amazing. I mean, one of my matches of the year come from I think New Japan sweeps my matches of the year category, so I can't wait to talk about that. So yeah, moving on from promotion of the year, we got tag team of the year. Let's start with Riv.
Can I say Lana's breasts? Are we allowed to say that? No, I'm just kidding.
We can if you want to.
No, I was gonna. That'll be one of my honorable mentions. Is Lana's breasts, which for as awful as looking at Rusev is, because he looks like just sloppy and greasy and like he traffics humans. Looking at Lana is great.
It looks like he traffics humans. That's great.
I gotta give my honorable mention to two WWE teams. Miz and Mizdow, first of all, because that just is just. I cannot stop laughing at them. Every time I see them, they are hilarious. Especially that one-off they did where they brought in Hornswoggle as the mini stunt double was just highly amusing. The other one, which amuses me for some reason I don't understand why they just do, is Slater Gator. Because it makes no
oh
sense.
My God.
It's ridiculous. The music is catchy. The entrance is absolutely retarded. Yet somehow it is great. I don't know why, but it manages to work really well. But if I had to give a team that I'm interested in that's been great on NXT for a while now, but I want to see what they do on the main roster. I do have to give it to the Ascension because these guys, they look like a team. They gel well. The crowd gets behind them. They're just very dominant. It's something I don't think we've seen since the APA days. It's something we haven't seen, and now they seem to be sort of going for a sort of LOD demolition tag team of old motif, and I think that they're going to they're really gonna push that hard. I think these two guys who can actually make it believable. Obviously I've followed Conor O'Brien for years. He was Roughhouse O'Reilly here down in Deep South Wrestling for years, so it's good to see him come up because I know he's been in developmental for about like a decade now. So it'll be interesting, and I think Rick Victor does very well with the role he's been given. Picking up the ball after they had to fire Kenneth Cameron, and I really like what they're doing with that team. I think that it's going to be something that's very marketable in the long term, and we haven't seen a team that I can, that just flat out tag team. I'm not talking about like the Shield, which is more of a faction. That just as a team, you're just looking at them and holy shit. I think that these are going to be good guys for the WWE.
Awesome, Sig.
It's got to be Golden Stardust.
The
like
Dust
to resurrect Goldust like that and have him better than he was like 20 odd years ago. It's crazy. And to find something for Cody Rhodes to do because he was going nowhere for a while since the split up of Rhodes Scholars, which was also a really good tag team. They should have gone further with.
You know, when Cody Rhodes first debuted years ago, I said that he was not going to make it out of WWE without putting a Goldust style costume on at least once.
And you were right on that one. And you know what? I think we're finally gonna get that Goldust Stardust or Goldust Cody Rhodes match at WrestleMania this year or next year.
Yeah.
I think it's fine. I think they're ready to finally pull the trigger on that one. I can't imagine Goldust wrestling another full year without that match happening. Anything else?
And the Miz and Mizdow.
Yeah.
Just for the fact that the Miz is rubbish. He's pure trash. I wish he'd stop wrestling. But but Damien Sandow.
Tell us how you really feel.
I've always liked Damien Sandow, like from when he was, the correcting everyone on their grammar and everything like that, and making fun of the audience. Obviously, not the bit where they had him coming out in different stuff every week. That was really stupid.
Do you like him when he was part of the Teacher's Pets with Michelle McCool?
Idol Stevens?
Idol
Oh
Stevens?
god, that seems ridiculous.
I don't even remember that. Yeah.
was
But
back
yeah,
in,
now
what,
he
2006?
makes the Miz look so good now.
Yeah.
And it's like you don't even look. No one in the crowd even watches the match. They just watch to see what Sandow's doing, or they'll watch the move just to see if he copies it. So just for sheer entertainment, like a match that you're always going to want to watch, no matter who they're fighting them to.
Awesome. Max.
I came into the podcast thinking completely differently than I do now on this category alone. I'm gonna swap a couple of them. First honorable mention is Miz and Mizdow. Mizdow has literally gone from nowhere to everywhere. He is one of the reasons to watch Raw, and he is he's making everybody laugh every time. The other honorable mention is going to be Golden Stardust. If you would have told me 15 years ago, 10 years ago, that Goldust would be wrestling better than he had been in the 90s, I would have said you're full of shit. But this guy is 44 and putting on better matches than guys half his age. It is crazy, and he still has one of the best power slams in the business.
Oh yeah.
And then my tag team of the year was going to be Golden Stardust, but thinking more about it, I really think that the Ascension are going to be the tag team for WWE coming in 2015. Not only are they big, and they've got like the creepy mystique factor, but Connor's 35, Victor's 33, but
Are they really that old?
Yeah, but the way that Connor wrestles, he could wrestle for another 5 or 6 years and not have a problem. Victor can go another 5 or 6 or 7 or however, but their run in NXT is truly something of note, and I'm really excited for Connor because I've liked him like Riv all the way down when he was O'Reilly. So,
Oh yeah. Eric.
Yes. Well, my honorable mentions, starting at the bottom honorable mention, I would have to go with the Usos. For the simple fact that I've always looked forward to their matches because they've consistently, despite the opponent, whoever they were matched with, always just were able to put on an exciting show. And I think they're WWE's main roster version of a good solid tag team you would see on the indies. So they were my bottom honorable mention. My runner-up would have to go to the Young Bucks because simply they are the Young Bucks. And the best thing about them is that they are as good as they say they are. And I think no one can take that away from them, no matter how hard you try. These guys are just going to go out there and steal the show every time. Except for the fact that they don't have the hardware that my number one tag team does, and that would be Red Dragon, who have just gone on and just lit the whole world on fire by going to Japan, taking those belts, and then regaining the belts from the Young Bucks in ROH. And then, like I said earlier, I was there front row to see them at World of Worlds, and that match was life-changing. So definitely Red Dragon has come out and they've surprised everyone, I think, who really watches them and pays attention to them, just for the simple fact that they're so versatile and they gel so well together, Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly, and they constantly bring new and different things to the table. And those guys are definitely going to be big news in a couple years, I'm sure.
Awesome. Mike.
My number 2 runner-up is, I'm going to change it up from yesterday, and I'm going to go with Red Dragon. If they would have held the titles for the full year instead of dropping it to the Young Bucks for 2 months, they would have been my number 1, but they didn't. Their matches with who did they feud with this year? I forget off the top of my head. Besides the Bucks,
Who?
Red Dragon,
Oh,
the Forever Hooligans. There's a bunch of
Time Splitters.
Time Splitters. My number 1 runner-up is the Shield. They would go from feuding with CM Punk to all of a sudden... No, I'm sorry. Feuding with Kane and the New Age Outlaws to feuding with Evolution to the split-up of the Shield, which Ambrose and Rollins are by far the 2 guys that should be pushed instead of Reigns, but he sucks, but that's another story. And my number 1... Yeah, it's just bashing on Roman Reigns again. And my number 1 is the Young Bucks. IWGP,
Let's go.
IWGP, ROH, PWG, the House of Glory Tag Champions.
No.
They also won those belts as well.
Yeah.
There was like maybe 2 or 3 other.
I think they won 2 CW ones too.
No, I don't. No, they didn't win the ZCW belts this year.
Like it's 2 CW.
No,
Out in New York.
I believe so. They had when they had the ROH and IWGP belts, they had 4 other sets of tag belts with them.
Yeah.
But I can't remember. The other ones were smaller indie company belts. I can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, that's my pick for tag of the year.
All right. Well, my tag teams of the year honorable mentions go to Time Splitters, who won the IWGP Junior Heavyweight. IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championships from the Young Bucks. And they had some amazing matches with Red Dragon, in where they also wrestled on Final Battle over in Ring of Honor against Red Dragon for the ROH World Tag Team Championships. Second honorable mentions go into the Young Bucks. What can you say? Young Bucks fucking put over the world's cutest tag team. They put over the Time Splitters. They put over Red Dragon, and they are still arguably the 2 best performers in the indie scene right now. I cannot imagine there's probably a small number of people who can outperform, not out-wrestle, but outperform and put on a highly entertaining match than the Young Bucks. But my tag team of the year goes to Red Dragon for the simple fact when they won the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championships and they made their debut in New Japan and they won the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championships, which is a big honor for them. I'm so happy that they made it in New Japan, and I cannot wait to see what they do. Especially just this weird partnership with Ring of Honor and New Japan. I'm so excited what can come of this, and I'm excited for the future of wrestling.
I really need to watch some New Japan, man. All this talk about New Japan.
We haven't even gotten to match of the year yet, Sig. Just wait.
Yeah.
We're gonna go with female wrestler of the year, and then we have 2 more categories after that, and then we're gonna be done with the show. So, female wrestler of the year. We're gonna start with Mike on this one.
Female of the year. Let's see. In terms of women's wrestling as a whole, WWE, there's maybe 2 women that really stood above everybody else. Those 2 women being AJ Lee and Paige.
Oh, what? Not Nikki Bella and Brie Bella?
No, shut up. Get out. You're fired.
Come on now.
Nikki Bella's boobs.
Nah.
I wish you died at the room!
If I wanted plastic, I'd play with Barbie dolls. But that's besides the point. Those two are my runner-ups.
That's because, Mike, you don't have sex with women, right?
The Bellas are
I get you.
awful, man.
Yeah,
they
they are.
they can't act. Like remember the whole thing with Kane and Daniel Bryan, and then like Bree's fake screaming and that. That was awful.
Bree
It's
just has
like
a
a-
terrible scream. in
I bet they
general.
wish they'd never done that. The whole
Yes,
sister
terrible.
thing.
Hey, don't forget Daniel Bryan has cheated on Brie Bella.
Exactly.
Let's see if
Oh
they
God,
let's-
Claire Lynch 2.0.
yeah, let's see if they continue that storyline when Bryan comes back.
God,
They
I'm
prob-
so
they
glad that they
probably
dropped
won't.
that.
Continue, Mike.
My number one is Candice LeRae.
Yeah.
PWG Tag Champ. Didn't she win another male title or a women's title in some other company as well?
She probably has. I can't remember right now.
I mean,
I'm looking for a Blue Jolly Rancher.
her guerrilla warfare match with the Young Bucks. Good lord. You know,
Oh,
a
yeah,
woman
yeah.
can only take so much being super kicked in the face with thumbtacks.
Max, if you want to watch a PWG show, go watch PWG 11 from June or July of this year. Phenomenal main event that I think you will absolutely love.
All right.
Well, let's just say Candice LeRae gets thumbtacks put in her mouth and super kicked.
Let's just say Velvet Sky got her panties in a bunch after that match because she said some bad things about Candice LeRae after that
Did
match.
she really? What'd you say?
She says she said something about like I'm a woman wrestler, I don't have to blade, or some bullshit like that, and I was like, I got so pissed.
All right, Abdullah the Butcher.
Yeah.
You know,
Let's go,
no blade
Hepsi.
here. Nigel McGuinness says no blading allowed.
Eric,
The blading.
Woman Wrestler of the Year.
Who, me?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Woman Wrestler of the Year. Well, my honorable mentions. Second honorable mention would have to be Candice LeRae, simply for that match you guys were talking about. You know, just the simple fact that she goes out there and she just does these incredible things against the guys, constantly proving that she definitely, they don't have to be afraid of letting her go out there and do her thing. And the fact that she took a super kick to the face with tacks on the bottom of the shoe and in her mouth and all that stuff, that was crazy. Second honorable mention would have to be Sasha Banks. I just feel like a girl like her, who nobody really thought was gonna be anything, you know.
Please, sir. I have been supporting Sasha Banks from the very beginning.
I always like the fact that she knew how to work that kind of attitude. But it really shows
she's
how much.
she's an indie star. She wrestled in the indies as Mercedes KV, I believe.
Yeah,
she used
but
to wrestle like Candice LeRae in intergender matches.
But the simple fact that she's just kind of, from the time, because I didn't know about her indie career, just, you know, from watching her, you know, when she started in NXT to now, like in FCW and stuff like that, it's just been completely, she's learning how to put together matches, how to look strong even when she doesn't go over. I mean, look at the past NXT special, her and my eventual female wrestler of the year, Charlotte. The fact that Sasha Banks came out looking just as strong as Charlotte did and Charlotte won was just amazing. That ending sequence when they were in the corner and Sasha kept countering everything, smashing Charlotte's face into the ring. It was just amazing. It was amazing. But my female wrestler of the year is, like I mentioned, Charlotte from NXT. Simple because you expect her to be this good when she is Ric Flair's daughter. And it hasn't been those thing where she had to use that fact as a crutch. It's almost just like, okay, I'm a Flair. I'm expected to be this good. Nobody thought she was going to be this good. And then just the simple fact that these matches that she's having with Bayley, with Sasha Banks, with Natalya at the other NXT special, this girl is going to be something special. And I really hope that when they do call her up, that they start taking the female side of wrestling very seriously, because it would be such a waste not to have her go out there and give her 10 minutes to do what she does rather than a 2-minute diva spot.
Awesome. Sig.
I'm going to have to say Charlotte as well. Ever since David Flair faked his own death and came back as a heel, NXT has not been the same. No, but in all seriousness, her match against Natalya for the championship, that was a solid match.
Oh,
And
man,
you know,
amazing.
that is wrestling. That is what is women's wrestling supposed to be like back in the day, the Attitude Era kind of stuff. And the same with the special the other day against Sasha Banks. That was really good as well. And yeah, I can see her being like a big star when she does move up, because she's like a really decent wrestler. And runner-up Paige, just because home team.
Awesome. Max.
My first runner-up is going to be Alicia Fox. She really came into her own this year with all of those multi-women matches that they've had over the past 6 months, 7 months. And that Northern Lights bridge is beautiful.
Perfect.
It's pretty. Yeah, it's nice.
All the way. I would say it's near perfect. All the way to like her, really like on her toes for it.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I tweeted Lance Storm that she had a better bridge than he did, and, and he totally agreed. It was a lot of fun. My second honorable mention would be Sasha Banks. There's just something about her that I think is going to be explosive in the next year or two when she hits the main roster. And then my female wrestler of the year, I actually started out this year hating with Charlotte. Her finish is terrible, and it's still terrible. That genetically superior
Bow to the Queen or whatever.
Bow to the Queen or whatever they're calling it. That's a terrible finish, and she never needs to use it again.
I liked how they used it in the Sasha Banks match from the
Natural
top rope.
selection.
Yeah, natural selection. There we go.
Yeah, when she used it as the Diamond Dust, it was really good. But if it's not going to be from the top rope, I don't care because half the time it looks terrible.
Yeah.
So I started out hating Charlotte, and then as she got better in the ring and on the mic, and just kind of becoming a ring general for the other girls like Becky Lynch and Bayley, I see now where WWE is going to go with her, and I don't think that they're going to use the Flair name as a crutch. I think that she's just going to explode once she makes her eventual re-debut onto the roster.
Awesome. Riv?
For honorable mention, I have to go with Sexy Star and Lucha Underground, because watching her, especially in that scene where Chavo just folded her the fuck up with a chair,
was
fuck. Just I mean,
that was sick. Easily one of the sickest chair spots.
My dad came running into the room and he's like, "Yo, some bitch got fucked up with a chair." Watch this.
I mean, between just being a woman to take those just chair shots like that, and then and it put Chavo on the map, because, for forever, I think Chavo's right. We don't take Chavo seriously because he's Chavo. I mean, he's Kerwin White.
Kerwin White.
He's the other girl, the one in the hair replacement systems.
I will
the
forever,
one who should have died.
I will forever be a mark for Chavo.
Pepe, the stick horse. I mean, the list goes on. But, she's also just very, very fun to watch in the ring. Very enjoyable. I have to give her that. And, she's great. Every time I see her on Lucha Underground, she's very good. My other honorable mention does have to go to Ivelisse, because Puerto Rican, I have to. Discriminatory, I have to give Ivelisse. And because she has big knockers, but that's besides the point.
Big knockers? She's like flat chested. You're talking about big butt. Big jiggly butt.
Well, she looks good on the show. I mean, she probably wears a push-up bra or something like that to make them look big. But I mean, damn, I'm like, where did those come from? Did you go to the Nikki Bella school of plastic? I mean, but no, I I have to give it to fucking to Paige. I mean, just the way she debuted, just her presence, her attitude, her character. She's really just run with the ball. I enjoy watching her in the ring. She looks good. She wrestles very well. Her angle with AJ was surprisingly very well done, and the fact that they sort of made her the new crazy. And I like where they went with that, where she was out crazing AJ and Alicia, and I think that we're going to see some more good things from Paige in the future. I mean, she's very young at the beginning of her WWE career, and I think she's got a lot going for her, and I think she's going to continue to do so in the years to come.
Awesome, and by far her best moments have been on the WWE app. If you guys haven't been noticing, her and Alicia Fox. They have this small angle on the WWE app where they're just kind of chasing after Tom Phillips.
What the?
It's the best thing that WWE has going on right now.
I bet Tom Phillips is smashing that.
Yeah, Alicia Fox is looking for Tom Phillips, and Paige is kind of like there just to be like, Alicia's looking for you. Tom's like, I need to fucking hide somewhere.
He's trying to get that choo-choo going.
It's great. All right.
She stole my hat, Moggle. Fucking JBL with Alicia has been great too.
My female wrestler of the year, honorable mention goes to Heidi Lovelace for winning the Young Lions Cup in Chikara / WIP. Other honorable mention goes to Candice LeRae for just being phenomenal. This is easily her breakout year, and I could have made a great argument for her to have been a breakout star of the year. I'm sad that I've noticed that she's 29, and WWE doesn't like hiring divas who are kind of getting up there in age, even though Layla's almost 40.
Yeah, but
Charlotte's
Layla's
28.
hot.
Yeah, Charlotte's 28. I mean, there's still a chance, and I say this almost every year now. You know, there's still a chance that Candice LeRae is gonna get hired by WWE. I don't know how long I could wait for it.
Leva is like 31 and had a few NXT appearances, so you know.
That's true. That's true. I mean, it's definitely different under Triple H's control now. You know, I'm hoping that Regal, because Triple H has listened to Regal a lot, and I know Regal's been going to a couple PWG shows recently to do some scouting. I'm hoping that Regal drops Candice LeRae sooner or later.
You have to think about it this way, that eventually the roster depth in NXT is going to thin out. And if they want to maintain the status of being the actual wrestling product of WWE, they have to go out there and find the best talent. I think they know what they're doing as far as mixing in the girls that sort of kind of know what they're doing, like Alexa Bliss and Carmella, but then you have like Bayley, Charlotte, and Becky Lynch, girls that know what they're doing, but eventually they have to get called up if they're good enough. So I think with that being the system now, where everything is going great in NXT, but eventually they have to go in WWE, and them having to keep that thing going, you'll probably see that they'll probably go after Candice LeRae because she is just incredible at what she does.
And also, I mean, they've been using her as a Rosebud for multiple times now. Scarlett Boudreaux, who I'm a very big fan of because she's hot. And then there's Veda Scott, who, you know, I could also see WWE hopefully picking up soon.
They've also been using what was her name? Rosita? Is that Rosebud?
Oh yeah, Rosita.
And Silesia. Silesia's been a Rosebud a couple times too.
Yeah. So you know, hopefully they're not done, or at least they're not, done picking up from the divas or from the ladies from the independent scene. There's so much good talent down there. My female wrestler of the year. I said this on yesterday's show when we did the award show, and I realized that she didn't do much this year when you think about it. She had her big WrestleMania moment, which I was very happy for her to do. She put over a young talent that needed to be put over, I felt, in a very big way. It goes to AJ Lee. And I think this, for as long as we've been doing this show, for 3 years now, almost 4 years, AJ Lee has been my female wrestler of the year, I think, every year. And this may be the last year. Not just because of all the rumors that have been circulating about her wanting to leave the company, but I look at her and I'm trying to figure out, unless they bring up these NXT divas, I can't imagine that there's a lot for her to do in the company.
Yeah, I mean, she's done just about everything as far as the main roster goes there is to do. I mean, which is amazing.
Everyone.
Yeah. Well, it's amazing in the short time that she's been there, because she really hasn't been there a long time, how much she's accomplished. But I mean,
how much she's changed the Divas division as well.
Yeah.
I mean, to the point where, like, Vince doesn't want anybody who's on Total Divas to hold the championship. And I think that's still a legitimate rule, because they just took...
Nikki Bella's on Total Divas, and she's got the belt currently.
Oh, yeah. I just noticed that.
There goes your fucking theory.
There goes my theory. But, I mean, they just pulled Naomi off of Total Divas, and it looks like they're starting to push her over there now.
Good.
You can push her off a cliff.
Oh, please,
no,
Mike.
Naomi's great.
Naomi's amazing.
Yeah.
Alright, we have 2 more categories. We're going to get through these, and we're going to end the show. Match of the Year. Big category for you guys. I want to hear these, because I want to know what your guys' take on what's your favorite kind of wrestling styles toward a feel. We're going to start with Mike.
Alright, I'm going to change it up from yesterday. Runner-up, second runner-up is the Young Bucks versus Red Dragon from the summer. Because they've had, I can't pick just one. Well, I can, but I just did. My second runner-up, the Shield versus the Wyatts from Elimination Chamber.
Which was amazing.
By far the best match on that card. The crowd was into it before the bell even rang. That's when you know it's going to be a good match.
Too bad the story behind it. I mean, they could have really pushed that story.
Yeah, wasn't the story the Wyatts cost the Shield a chance at the world title in the Elimination Chamber or something?
Something like that. Like, they couldn't get into the Elimination Chamber, and so they... And they didn't even have a lot of mic time. There was a lot of standoffs in that feud.
Yeah, that killed it for me. The match was still great. And the matches afterwards, the main event in Raw or whatever, they weren't so great. I still say that should have been in the chamber itself. That probably would have been a lot better match. And my number 1 match of the year, the Young Bucks versus the world's cutest tag team from PWG 11. By far the best ladder match of the year. Y'all should go watch it.
I love how all your matches of the years are like tag matches.
Yeah.
Alright. Let's go with Eric.
Well, this was kind of a really, like, I don't want to say hard, but it was almost like, all right, match of the year has to be something big, you know, so to kind of comb through everything, and I really couldn't come up with 3 choices. I do have a runner-up and a main choice. My runner-up would be from NXT TakeOver, the Fatal 4-Way main event, Sami Zayn, Tyler Breeze, Tyson Kidd, and who else was the third one? I'm drawing a blank here. Damn it. This was in my head. Adrian Neville, the champion. No shit. Hello. All right. Yeah. But that was definitely my runner-up, just because it was chaotic almost, and it was almost like it was a controlled chaos where everything made sense. And there was that one spot where Tyler Breeze went to fucking... Tyson Kidd was coming off the top. Tyler Breeze catches him with a fucking super kick, goes to cover him. Tyson kicks out. Then he flips over to Neville. Neville kicks out, and fucking Tyler Breeze just throws a fucking tantrum. Like, it was all like, you felt that. So that was a runner-up for me. And then
that might be the best Fatal 4-Way match I've ever seen.
Yeah, it was just craziness. And the fact that they went with the idea of having Neville sort of, all right, let's push the boundaries and let's see how he would do if he did something kind of suspect, like pulling out the referee when you didn't expect it, because technically he's a face. I just thought it was brilliant the way it was done. But as far as my match of the year, it goes to another NXT match, which was the one from this past NXT R Evolution between Sami Zayn and Adrian Neville. It was a wrestling match. I mean, I keep saying that a lot, but I'm a huge fan of when WWE gets the wrestling right. And I feel with NXT they get the wrestling right, and I feel with that main event, from everything with like the way the ref took the ref bump and was taken out, and Sami Zayn almost using the title, and just the way it was built up, and it was a back and forth contest. I mean, it was wrestling to me, and they need to realize that they can still be entertaining when they use wrestling, and that's why NXT continues to just blow my mind. It's almost taking over. Again, it is my promotion of the year, but it's because they consistently always entertain me, even when they have shitty shows, because they sometimes do. But they still are consistently entertaining me, and that main event match was just crazy.
We got the NXT chance tonight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but the show tonight was awful. Chanted TNA.
That's because they didn't have Ambrose or Wyatt on there. They're saving it for SmackDown. It's stupid. The whole reason NXT is so much better is because they're taking all the risks that Raw should, but Raw
ones that
won't
Raw is
because
afraid
they're
to.
live on. They're live on TV and they can't afford to take the risks.
Yeah.
Again, all their eggs are in one basket, and that basket is Cena. Look at the main event from tonight. The main event from tonight was way better than their tables match at TLC last night.
Yeah.
It's because they get it or they don't, but it all revolves around Cena.
Mm.
All right. Sig, match of the year.
Runner-up has to be, because I have a bad memory, so I have trouble remembering stuff from the rest of the year. But runner-up has to be the ladder match from last night.
Ooh.
There was so many bumps. You had Harper. Harper was screaming in pain, and for his character, that's something his character doesn't do. So that's some real ass pain. And then the amount of mashing up that happened to Ziggler, his head getting mashed up in the ladder, falling here, falling there, getting smashed with the ladder. It was a really good ladder match.
The amount of near concussions Ziggler could have possibly occurred in that match scares me.
Exactly, yeah. They probably did get a couple as well.
Get a Z-Pack on it.
Oh.
But yeah, the match of the year for me was Shield versus Evolution at, I think the first one was Payback, I think, their first match. The one where Seth jumped from the crowd stands.
Yes.
And that was just a OMG moment. Like the way he just did that, he couldn't believe he'd just come out of nowhere and landed on them all. But yeah, just the whole match, it gelled so well. It's really hard to get a match to gel well when it's 3-on-3, but they just managed it so well. So that was it for me.
Awesome. Max?
Yeah, my first honorable mention is the Ziggler versus Harper match from last night. I stated earlier that it was one of the better ladder matches that I've seen, and Harper and Ziggler really went out there and was like, you know what, fuck it, we're gonna have the best match of the night, and they succeeded. They probably had the best WWE match for a very long time that I can remember. My second runner-up is Daniel Bryan versus Triple H at WrestleMania. It's always good to see the hometown hero get the win, but it is also nice to see that Baikasu knee hit Triple H right in the mush. So that's very good. And then my match of the year is actually from NXT TakeOver from February, the 2 out of 3 falls match between Zayn and Cesaro. That personified wrestling for me. Not only did Sami Zayn and Cesaro bring entertainment through all 3 falls, but it was also a match that you could show a non-wrestling fan and they would be impressed. That moment when Cesaro held Zayn up and kind of carried him around the ring, but was holding him up like on his forehands.
Yeah,
that was nuts. That is the defining moment of Cesaro's pre-WrestleMania, career. And that match just blew me away.
I feel like marathoning the 3 matches those guys had.
Yeah. Oh, damn, that's a good idea.
All 3 of them are just great.
And you can do it for $9.99.
Yeah. Riv.
Well, I I didn't realize, and now I have to change it around because of the fact that it feels like it was so long ago that Cesaro and Sami Zayn, wrestled each other, and that's my honorable mention. Now I realize that it wasn't a year ago; it was actually this year, because it feels like so much has happened this year.
I think the first match they ever had, which was on an NXT show, happened at the tail end of 2013. And then they had 2 more matches in 2014. The 2 out of 3 falls and then the Arrival one.
That Arrival one was just spectacular. I loved that one. I mean, that one was it was just it's when 2 guys know each other so well that, I mean, they put on this clinic of a match, and I watched it, and it was one of those things. I don't go back and usually watch shit twice. I watched that twice. It was that good. I mean, it changed a whole sort of way that we perceived NXT, and it was that first match of Arrival, and it was just so well done. It sort of changed everything. I think that set the pace for NXT going forward, even to now, and that was on Cesaro and Sami Zayn, and it was just a brilliantly done match. I also do have to give honorable mention to Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, in the Hell in the Cell.
Ooh, all right.
Now that one, it was just everything sort of just felt well. It was a good culmination. You knew that Seth Rollins probably had to win, because it was just out of nowhere. How were they going to do it? The Bray Wyatt, interference. I didn't see it coming at all. I didn't. So that was one thing. And then, of course, obviously you had the stooge involvement of J&J Security, which I really should have picked as Tag Team of the Year, even though they're not active wrestlers anymore, because they're incredible as the New Age Patterson and Briscoe. They're great. But I have to give the match of the year to Adrian Neville, Sami Zayn, that we saw at our Evolution. That just really, the psychology behind it, every move in that match counted. When Sami Zayn had the chance to take the cheap shot, I mean, you just felt like this sort of tension. It was like up in the air as what the fuck is is he going to take the cheap shot? Are they going to throw the wool over our eyes and make, Sami Zayn just sort of go full on dark side here? And then when he didn't and he got rolled up, I was like, oh shit, not again. And, it had you on the edge of your seat, and that's something special. And then of course it was that great sort of happy end finish, only to a few minutes later, Steen, now Kevin Owens, hey, fuck you, I'm going to destroy you.
So good.
I mean, that nasty fucking powerbomb. I felt pain in my neck for 3 days after I saw that. The way that Zayn hit. So, all in all, I think that had to be one of the best things. That had to be the best thing that I've seen all year. I mean, that, I'm anxiously waiting to see NXT this week just to see the fallout from it.
Awesome. All right, my matches of the year. Honorable mentions goes to Tomohiro Ishii versus Kota Ibushi. New Japan Pro Wrestling's return to Yokohama Arena. This was for the Neverweight, I believe. Amazing, absolutely. Ishii, 2 different styles with Ishii's just brute strength versus Kota Ibushi's amazing high flying ability. These 2 put on a great match. Ishii was on a roll this year, but this is by far one of my favorite matches. He probably had 4 or 5 contenders, I would say, for match of the year. But this one stood out to me the most. I enjoyed it. I watched this match about 4 times. It was just that fucking good. I recommend anybody to watch that match. Second honorable mention goes to Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Katsuyori Shibata at New Japan Pro Wrestling's Destruction in Kobe 2014. From the story, this all revolves around the story between Shibata leaving New Japan when New Japan needed him the most, when they were almost looking to go out of business, and Shibata goes on to wrestle in MMA over there. And Tanahashi ended up being, going on to be the biggest star, and Tanahashi always kind of had a grudge behind Shibata because Shibata left. And so now you get this feud. I mean, their first match happened during the G1 series, but I was happy that they were able to carry that match over. And while I slightly enjoyed the match that they had on G1, the story is what made their match at Destruction just a lot better, and that almost clinched my number one spot. But my number one spot goes to a match that I was hoping that I would see all year, and when they announced it for G1, I was unbelievably enjoyed by that. I was gonna finally get to see it. The leader of, or somewhat leader of Bullet Club, AJ Styles, versus the leader of Suzuki Gun, Minoru Suzuki, at G1 Climax 24, Day 7. Holy shit. This match is what pro wrestling is all about. These two put on a fucking clinic. The promo that was created, that New Japan created before this match, got the hairs standing on the back of my neck. I couldn't believe the work these two put into this match. And I've watched, I mean, it was this match alone that got me to watch the entire G1 series twice. I mean, you're talking about 12 days, every show being around 3 to 4 hours. Having to watch that entire series twice was a very, very hard thing to do, because I would come back from work, or I'd come back from my girlfriend's house, and I would be on my computer watching this until 2 o'clock in the morning, until I have to get ready for school in the morning. And unbelievably, it was worth it for G1 and for this match in general. AJ Styles Suzuki blew it out of the fucking water. There were some other great matches. Nakamura and Tanahashi had a really fucking good match. Okada, you know, his work in G1 was phenomenal. He won the entire thing. But AJ Styles Suzuki, it stole the show. It was a match that I've been wanting to see ever since Suzuki and Suzuki Gun and Bullet Club really took to the scene in New Japan and really started dominating everything that was in their paths. And it culminated to an excellent match between the two leaders. Watch it. Anybody who hasn't seen anything New Japan, watch that match. It's Styles at the top of his game versus one of the most dominant human beings in that company, and that's Suzuki. So yeah, on to the last category of the show, and we're going to be closing this show after this. Wrestler of the Year. Mike, starting with you.
Alright. I'm in the ARC chat too while we're doing this, so I'm like, let's
I see you.
Yeah. My first second runner-up of the year is AJ Styles. I gave AJ Styles Wrestler of the Year yesterday. I'm gonna give him today, only for the fact that he went from TNA bottom of the barrel, being destroyed in the feud with Magnus, and I'm not even gonna get into that fully. Going in, don't get me started on the thing with Magnus and AJ Styles and the whole entire angle, because it'll be an hour of me just ranting.
Fuck TNA.
He goes to Ring of Honor, almost kills Roderick Strong, but nobody cares about Roderick Strong.
Yeah. Hey, I care about Roderick Strong.
Oh, you didn't 3 months ago.
But now I do, so shut up.
Winning the IWGP Championship in a shocker. I'm surprised that New Japan actually put the belt.
Kyle O'Reilly went an
on
hour.
Guy.
He wrestled 2 matches in a span of an hour. 2, what looks like devastating matches. Congrats to Kyle O'Reilly. And also, really quickly, Mike, I'm sorry. That was both Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly's last matches in PWG.
Oh, the thing from Friday?
Yeah, apparently Cole just signed a brand new contract, and yeah, that was ending it in PWG.
Oh,
they can't wrestle anymore in PWG?
Ring of Honor is putting is getting them to keep them as exclusive talent.
Wow.
They're trying to like branch out there because they just got like new TV deals.
They got a new TV deal with TNA. And also,
in the central areas?
Yeah, I think they just expanded. I mean, they're bigger than TNA, and with TNA's new deal with Destination America, they reach like 52 million homes, which makes Ring of Honor the second wrestling promotion in the United States, which is kind of weird because the Sinclair broadcast I thought wasn't that great, at least their range. I know we don't get it out here.
Yeah, I don't get it over here.
Me either.
Yeah, continue, Mike.
Anyway, my second runner-up, or first runner-up, is Seth Rollins. Biggest heel in WWE in quite some time. You know, Orton's gone heel-wise. Wyatt's at the bottom of the barrel booking-wise. Lesnar, I don't even count him as a typical heel because he's there 3 days out of the year. So Rollins is my first runner-up, and my wrestler of the year is Ricochet.
Ooh, I was not expecting that. It's a nice little surprise.
Best of the Super Juniors, he won the Dragon Gate, I forget, Open the Freedom Gate title?
Yeah.
He did that. He won Bola. He's in Lucha Underground. You know, the man can do it all.
Did you say he won Best of the Super Juniors?
Yes. He won Bola.
I mean,
you know,
he easily had one of the biggest years that a wrestler could have.
He had the biggest year of any independent / mainstream wrestler not named AJ Styles.
Yeah.
So, if he doesn't get picked up by WWE or TNA next year, or even Ring of Honor for that matter,
I mean,
I'd be highly surprised.
He had a tryout. I can't remember if it was at the beginning of this year or if it was last year, but he had a tryout, and Triple H pretty much said, "We don't need more." I can't remember the terminology that they used.
More flippity doo guys.
Yeah, more flippity. More. He said the same thing to Davey Richards, I think.
I bet he's kicking himself in the ass now.
Oh yeah.
No more small guys.
No more
small guys.
Or no more like Daniel Bryan-like guys. Something like that.
Here's the thing.
No, that was Laurinaitis that said that.
Oh yeah, that was Laurinaitis. But I remember Triple H denied Ricochet off the bat when he came in for a tryout, which sucks. But I mean, you know,
when they had the Wolves, they decided to sign him because they already had guys of that stature.
Yeah.
They wanted more big, muscular football players.
Yeah, in which they've hired a lot, and I have not yet to seen like any of them that they've hired. I've seen them in like Instagram photos, and that's like as much as I've seen from them.
Because that's what the world needs is more Mojo Rawleys.
Yeah, more Mojo Rawleys.
There's
and
a
more
lot.
MCs.
Trust me, I keep one of the things I keep track of the most is that NXT developmental system. There's a lot more Mojo Rawleys in that system than you guys realize.
Yeah, they've got that big, huge hand guy, the hand WWE.
Oh, Dylan Mile.
Yeah, that dude's hand is the size of my fucking stomach.
He, I think, is going to be a big star in the WWE because Kevin Steen's putting him over, Finn Balor's putting him over, Sasha Banks putting him over. They're all putting him over on Twitter.
Sausage Banks?
Sausage? No.
Sausage Banks.
I mean, her lips.
Sausage Banks.
Her lips are like sausages, but let's get back on topic.
Oh.
Hey, those lips are hot. Let's. She has like Snoop Dogg lips, because of course they're cousins. But Dylan Mile, apparently he's fucking amazing on the mic. This dude has like a 37-inch leap. Penis. He has like a 37-inch vertical leap, which is amazing feat. So this dude, and he looks like a mix, he looks like a Gorilla Monsoon sort of guy. So he looks very old schooly. He if he's that great on the mic, and if he ends up being a really great wrestler, Owens and Balor are putting him over for a reason. So I'm excited for him. Let's go with Eric, wrestler of the year.
Wrestler of the year. My thoughts are kind of all jumbled. Wrestler of the year. My second runner-up is Sami Zayn. I think we've all said enough about Sami Zayn and what he's able to do, and I think he's going to be a guy that's going to change the game, kind of in what we expect a WWE champion should be. I think he's going to change the game in the sense that it's not all about size and muscle and all. It's all about how you connect with the crowd and how you perform in the ring. So I think he's a solid choice. My next runner-up is going to be Adam Cole. I think his run as ROH champion and his run as PWG World Heavyweight Champion, I think it showed the world, the people who pay attention to these things, that this dude is going to be in a real big deal as soon as his now new contract is up. I think he won't stay down in the independent circuit for too long, or the ROH thing, or whatever you want to call it. I think he's just too good, and he's a perfect cocky heel. Everything that they should be doing with Dolph Ziggler now, if they don't do it with him, as far as like being a cocky, arrogant heel and being able to back that up, I think they could try that with Adam Cole, and it'll be successful. But as far as my wrestler of the year, I'm going to have to go with Seth Rollins, simply because he's been put in so many big matches and big spots that you would not really expect a guy like him. And like we said in the beginning, everybody expected him, maybe Ambrose. Obviously, they're still going to give Roman Reigns a big push. But if you would have said that around the time that the Shield was in their prime, Seth Rollins probably would have been on the back burner. But I'm kind of glad that they pulled the trigger with him and put him into this role of he was the backstabber of the Shield, and now he's aligned himself with the Authority, even though they're no longer there. He's still able to be that balance of good heel and excellent ring work, because obviously being in the ring with John Cena means you know what the hell you're doing. So obviously I think that holds a lot of merit. So Seth Rollins definitely is my wrestler of the year.
Awesome. Sig?
It's going to have to be Ambrose, just from coming from the Shield, being the wacky guy in the Shield, to being like a Stone Cold type babyface with all the stuff he does and the promos he's cutting, and the crowd are behind him all the way, like whatever he does. As soon as his music hits, the crowd go mental. And, you know, whatever match you put him in, or whoever you put him in against, he like makes that person good. He puts that person over anyway. So yeah, just purely for that, it's got to be Dean Ambrose. It's going to be Bray Wyatt next year, obviously, but just for now.
I love how you're already calling it.
Yeah. For now, while they haven't got anything for Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt's been good this year, but then he just had a massive slump, like in the middle of the year. Yeah. Otherwise, it would have just been Bray Wyatt.
And
just
coincidentally, right after when he loses to John Cena.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. Max.
My first honorable mention for Wrestler of the Year is Prince Puma, or Ricochet. Even though I haven't been keeping up with PWG or ROH or anything that he's been wrestling for, the first 6 episodes of Lucha Underground wowed me enough that I feel that he's going to be a huge player, not only for Lucha Underground, but also for the WWE if they decide to sign him after he leaves AAA / Lucha Underground / wherever he goes. I know that he's big in Japan. So my second honorable mention is Sami Zayn. I think that everybody said basically the same thing, but Sami Zayn is the true breakout star of the year, and I think that there's nowhere for him to go but up. And then my wrestler of the year is hometown hero Daniel Bryan. Even though he was only active for half the year, the Yes Movement was easily the best thing that happened all year, storyline-wise, as well as I know that him, the fans being able to turn the decision, because it's obvious that it wasn't going to be that way before the fans kind of took over the show. And being live on December 9th last year at the Slammy Awards last year, the whole crowd just chanting yes, yes, yes. It was obvious that this is the guy that they're going to do the big thing for at WrestleMania. So Daniel Bryan is my wrestler of the year.
Awesome. Riv.
All right, so my runner-up of the year has to go to Bo Dallas. Because no, I'm just kidding. But with respect to Bo Dallas, I will say he is good at being the most hated man, or the second most hated. Because before he got injured, Adam Rose is probably the most hated now. Everybody hates him when they're supposed to love him. But no, my honorable mention does have to go to Dean Ambrose. I think he's really just he's there, man. I mean, every time he grabs a microphone, he strikes gold. When he gets in the ring, he strikes gold. Everybody is just behind him. He's a top merchandise seller now, apparently for WWE as well. This guy has star all over him. I love watching him work. I love watching him wrestle. I think he's great in every way. Other honorable mention has to go to Sami Zayn. This guy, every time he's put in a main event caliber NXT match, has delivered hands down. You cannot deny that. But my wrestler of the year clearly goes to Roman Reigns, who has done absolutely nothing to earn this award. He has not. he has nice hair, and he's related to The Rock.
What's your
Clearly,
beef with Roman Reigns?
Baby
It's not
girl.
even that bad.
10 out of 10 pick. I applaud you.
No, but no.
Baby
In all
girl.
seriousness, no. In all
Nice
seriousness,
girl.
He was on a roll before he got injured.
It does go to Seth Rollins, though, because Seth Rollins is a guy who has really proven that. I think everybody looked at the Shield and they go, Ambrose is great. He's set for life. Reigns, he's got the look. He's of that pedigree. He's Samoan. He's related to The Rock. He's a chosen one. Nobody was looking at Rollins, to be all honesty, and that's not to say Rollins was bad, but nobody was looking at Rollins. Rollins, he'll probably float down to the bottom of the card after the Shield.
I've said it on the
an Intercontinental
podcast.
guy.
I've said it on the podcast. I've always said that Seth Rollins is going to probably end up being the next Kofi Kingston for the mid-card division.
Yeah, where he's just mid-card for life with no means of ever getting back out. And instead,
New Day.
New Day is more like same day. These guys, I was hoping for like a heel turn or something, but now we can't have that because of the political climate. Even though every promo is talking about darkness.
What you know about bars?
Even their finisher, what is it called? Dark something or
Midnight Hour.
Midnight Hour. I'm like,
Hour.
what is this? Everything is a racial overtone.
It sounds like a radio show. Welcome back to the Midnight Hour.
Oh God, yeah, with Big E and Kofi, 1.9. No, in all seriousness, Rollins really has, he's become the bad guy in the WWE because Brock Lesnar is pretty much a part-timer despite being the champion, but Rollins is a guy every week. He is the primary antagonist of the WWE, and he has managed to make that work for him. He's great in the ring, yet he has these cowardly, pathetic ways that he gets everything done. And now you just have J&J Security, or as they call themselves, the Shield 2.0, and just the addition of that is somehow being great in and of itself.
The fact that they teased the assisted power bomb that the Shield used to do, but with J&J Security, I thought that was phenomenal.
Yeah, I thought that was brilliant. And no, but Rollins, now he's the guy who every week, I need the Authority back. I need Triple H and Stephanie back. He's just become so conniving. So, even the thing with Orton has been pretty well done, I think. With him taking Orton out, with him being I'm the chosen one now. It's my time. I'm the future. And I'm really starting to believe it. I think that Rollins has become a credible main event guy. And I'm interested to see what happens with Money in the Bank and Seth Rollins at this point. I think it's what everybody, sort of has in the back of their mind. What's going to happen with that briefcase? So
yeah,
I'm interested to see it play out.
Awesome. Well, let's get my Wrestler of the Year out of the way. I got 3 honorable mentions. I'll go through really quickly. Adam Cole, of course, because he started off the year phenomenal as a PWG champion, IWG. He was PWG World Champion and Ring of Honor Champion. Great. Held both of those titles at the same time. Really shook up everything. He stood out most. He had great matches with. He continued his feud with the World's Cutest Tag Team, wrestling a phenomenal match with Candice LeRae. Another match that, if you guys are interested in PWG, to watch out. It happened earlier this year. I think at Mystery Vortex. Which was great. Ricochet, who had an outstanding career, or win this year with Bola and Bola Super Juniors, and just really showing that he could be a much bigger star than a lot of people see him as. Tomohiro Ishii, who arguably put on the best wrestling than anybody in this industry has done all year. All his matches, especially during the G1 Climax Series, has been phenomenal. Will be the best never openweight champion of all time. And man, he is one tough son of a bitch. But my wrestler of the year goes to someone who's defied the odds, defied his age, has come back from such a slump in his career, and which I would believe was a very depressing time in his career down in TNA, and breaking out from that and jumping onto the independent scene and over in Japan, and jumping back into that spot of one of the top superstars or wrestlers in the industry, and showing and really rubbing it in TNA's face that he is a main event star and can still go at his age, and that's AJ Styles. Unbelievable year that he's had this year, and I don't think that we're gonna see a run of like his career in a while. Coming from such a slump in his career into the top spot of into the independent scene. He debuted in PWG. Not debuted. He wrestled in PWG a lot earlier when they first started. But I mean, his return back to PWG and shaking it up in Ring of Honor and being the biggest star and being the leader of the Bullet Club. He did everything in such a small amount of time. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah, to come back from Claire Lynch was just a big thing. I mean, you remember that disaster that they saddled him with? I'll never be able to forget that. That was like... That to AJ Styles' career was like 9/11 to the United States. That was like the darkest moment.
Whoa!
That
Hells
was the
yeah.
darkest moment of AJ's career, and to turn that around is incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. AJ really he did what he could do, and he put more than 100% into it, and I don't think you could ask anything else from him. On that note, that's it for the end of the year awards show. I am super happy. Thank you guys for joining us today. Let's get some plugs in. I want you guys to plug all your shit. Eric, let's hear it from you.
All right. Well, thank you for having me on the show. I had a great time chatting with you guys. If you want to check out anything that I do, all you have to do is head over to thewrestlingchronicle.com, and that's where my site is, where we have random blogs about stuff and a lot of video content and things to look at the wacky side of wrestling. Again, that's thewrestlingchronicle.com. There you can find the Facebook page, facebook.com/wrestlingchronicle, and follow me on Twitter at WrestlingChron, CHRON. And again, thank you guys for having me on.
Yeah, thanks, man. Sig, how about you? Where can we find you?
You can find me on soundcloud.com/Cigadeemus. There's a Bray Wyatt remix on there. Same with YouTube, youtube.com/user/Cigadeemus. The Bray Wyatt remix on there, and there's some dubstep and some drum and bass and some glitch hop, all that kind of thing.
Awesome. Max, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter at WrestleSubtitle. You can also follow thewrestlinggame.com at facebook.com/thewrestlinggame. It's just a wrestling RPG that you can come and create your own wrestler and become the best wrestler in the world.
Oh, sweet. I should probably try that out. Wrestle the game?
Thewrestlinggame.com.
Thewrestlinggame.com. And Riv.
Oh, well, you can find me every week on Asked on listentothishow.com. That's on 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time live every week. We talk news, current events, entertainment, wrestling, anything that's going on in the world. A lot of crazy news stories, very controversial. Anybody can call in and be a part of the show at any time, so feel free, you guys, or anybody listening, to call into the show. We love to have people on, and sometimes we get crazies like Luke Hudson telling us that he bought Paige's panties on eBay and weird shit like that.
That guy still exists?
Yes, unfortunately he does, and he did call recently to tell me that he was gonna buy Paige's panties and sniff them a lot. So he's
Oh my
That's
god, he's finally moved on to a new stalker.
fucking crazy.
No, he has moved on to Paige, and I think briefly in between he was an Emma guy, because Emma unfortunately has to go on the European tour, unlike Caitlyn, so he has opportunities to stalk. So, but yeah, obviously it's always a good time to be on. I love being on, you guys. So feel free anytime. I'm always willing to come on.
Awesome. Thanks, man. And as for us, you know where to catch us, www.twitter.com/arcofwrestling. Where you're listening to this is on youtube.com/arcofwrestling. You know, subscribe down below and also like and comment on this video. Tell us what you think. Give us your awards. We'd love to hear from you guys. We'll probably talk about it on the next show. We will be taking a break from here on out. We will be gone for 2 weeks. We will not be back until probably January the 5th, or if we need to, we'll move it to January the 12th. But it should be January the 5th. We should be back for another episode of the Arc of Wrestling podcast. I am your host, Greg, and we will see you next time. Bye.